A Windsor family's plea. They want the Canadian government to help them bring their loved ones to safety from war-torn Gaza.
1, 2, 3.
Graduates are saying cheese a bit differently this year because of the pandemic, but parents and students are getting creative to get a snapshot of their achievements. A live look at our city there. It hasn't been quite hot, also hasn't been quite cold. Some milder temperatures today with a low chance of showers this evening. Colette Kennedy will tell us in detail what we can expect. That's later in the program. Good evening, I'm Katerina Georgieva. Chris is away. CBC has just learned that Ontario will be moving into phase 2 a little bit earlier than planned in its reopening. In 1 week, June 30th, we will move into the next phase, and that means larger outdoor gatherings, small indoor gatherings, and some personal care services will be allowed. The change comes just 2 days earlier than planned, and we'll have more details on our website. Let's turn now to local coverage. Some people are raising concerns. It's over remarks City Councillor Ed Sleeman made at Monday night's City Council Zoom meeting. At one point during a recorded vote, he appears to be talking to someone off camera to clarify how he should be voting. Dale Molnar has been talking to the people involved and joins me now live. Dale, what exactly did Councillor Sleeman say that is causing such a stir?
Well, Katerina, at one point during the discussion over the 80 Knox recreation complex, Councillor Ed Sleeman seems to turn to someone in the room with him and ask, "I thought we were opposing the motion." It has people wondering who was in the room and why. At one point during Monday's council meeting, councillors were taking a recorded vote on a motion by Fabio Costante. His motion included leaving the door open to retaining the pool at the 80 Knox Recreation Centre. Councillor Ed Sleeman opposed the motion, but Councillor Joanne Geniak supported it. Then Sleeman reacted like this.
I thought we are opposing the motion, but...
In case you missed it, here's how the vote went.
Councillor Geniak.
Support. Support or oppose? I thought we are opposing the motion, but...
Sleeman goes on to talk with the mic muted. It appears Sleeman is talking to someone else in the room, clarifying with them what position he had agreed to take prior to the vote. After Sleeman's comments were broadcast, councillors had a variety of reactions, from smiles to this from Councillor Geniak.
I thought we are opposing the motion, but...
Melinda Monroe posted this series of tweets asking the question whether Sleeman was being coached.
So, in an ordinary council meeting, each councillor has required to form an independent decision about how they're going to vote. And what appears to be the case from the video is that Councillor Sleeman did not form his own independent opinion. He was voting in a way that someone off camera appeared to be telling him.
Sleeman says no one was in the room and he was not being coached. He says he was simply surprised that Geniak voted the way she did.
Said, oh my God, maybe the way I'm thinking is something is not right.
But who were you talking to off camera?
I was talking to myself.
I said nobody in the room? Sleeman says he takes part in the Zoom meeting in the boardroom at City Hall because he is hearing impaired and can hear better there. He says the mayor's chief of staff sets up the computer but leaves and is not in the room during the vote.
Was anybody telling you which to vote, which way to vote? No.
The mayor says he does not coach Sleeman either and believes the criticisms are politically motivated.
People who are trying to vie for the next election already, and it's more than a year away. And it's a real shame that during Seniors Month, they pick on one of the hardest working members of City Council who happens to wear 2 hearing aids.
And do I sometimes make my decision before I go to the council meeting? I don't ever remember that I did. I always try to go there with an open mind.
Now, Melinda Monroe says she has filed a Freedom of Information Act request to find out who, if anyone, was in the room with Sleeman. She has not yet made a complaint to the Integrity Commissioner. CBC News has reached out to the Integrity Commissioner, Bruce Elman, for a comment, but we haven't heard back. Councillor Joanne Geniak refused to comment. Katerina?
Thanks, Dale. The CBC's Dale Molnar reporting live. A refugee family in Windsor is pleading with the Canadian government to bring over the other half of their family from Gaza. They are one of about a dozen families who have been separated for years, waiting for residency approvals. CBC's Jennifer Lagrassa reports recent bombings have made the wait even harder.
My father and my 2 sisters are in Gaza. I don't see them from 2.5 years. and I miss them so much. I cannot touch them, I cannot hug them, I cannot play with them.
7-year-old Alma Al-Sawafuri lives in Windsor with her mom Samar and younger sister Tamara. Visitors' visas and Alma's American passport brought them to Canada from Gaza in 2019. But leaving behind their hometown meant they would be separated from dad Mohammed, 11-year-old Kinda, and 13-year-old Zaina. This year, with refugee status, Samar could finally apply for permanent residency permits, but the process is expected to take another 2 years, partly due to COVID-19 delays.
وأنا بدي ماما وخواتي بدنا عالم نكون مع بعض مجتمعين بأمان.
Samar says she has nightmares of losing her loved ones in Gaza, a city recently bombed.
Children have died waiting. When I just thinking about that, I feel that I can't sleep. I have nightmares and I couldn't focus in anything. I need my kids now, immediately, in front of my eyes. I can't keep them away.
Refugee advocates say Canada has issued temporary residency permits before, something families are calling for now.
Before, when the explosion in Beirut happened, they immediately helped some of those families. They helped the families of the Ukrainian and the Ethiopian airline crashes. They helped after the tsunami. So we're not asking for anything that's without precedent.
Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada told CBC News it doesn't comment on individual cases and it continues to monitor the situation in Gaza. It also couldn't provide an approximate wait time on the processing of applications, saying there are many different variables involved.
The hardest question for me, when some of my kids ask me in Gaza, when we gonna come to you, Mom, and when we gonna meet again? I have no answer for that.
For now, all that Samar and other families can do is wait and hope to be reunited with their loved ones soon. Jennifer Lagrassa, CBC News, Windsor.
A life-changing drug for those living with cystic fibrosis has been approved by Health Canada. This is something the CF community has been pushing for a long time. One Windsor man is calling Trikafta a lottery ticket, but the cost is still the largest obstacle for many.
It's a miracle.
Ryan Murphy lives with cystic fibrosis, a genetic disease that affects the lungs and the digestive system. It's meant hospitalization, loss of lung function, daily treatments, physio, lots of medication. Trikafta could dramatically reduce all that.
Me as a person sitting in this chair right now, I never thought about retirement. I never thought about those things because my whole life I was told you're not going to make it till, you're 20, you're 30. And here I am at 34, and now there's this miracle drug that I can obtain. It's unbelievable.
Research has shown that Trikafta has the potential to treat 90% of people with cystic fibrosis and increase the median age of survival by 9 years.
It'd be like me turning back the clock. So I'm 34 with my condition of my lungs now. If I was able to get the drug, maybe I would be living with 25-year-old Ryan Murphy lungs instead of 34-year-old Ryan Murphy lungs.
A game changer for a man with a wife and a young son.
I have a 1-year-old, right? Now I can think about taking him to a baseball game or watching him at his high school dance or whatever it is, right? Like the adult life come into the perspective. So it's completely overwhelming.
His wife, Diane, has been with him through it all. The hospital stints, the scares. This brings her hope.
It's being able to look forward to a life together, right? Him watching our child grow up. So it's been emotional.
A life changer with a big barrier. Trikafta costs roughly $300,000 US a year, a steep price tag few can afford.
As of right now, you're not getting it unless you pay cash.
CBC has reached out to the province to see if there will be any funding or coverage available for patients, but has not yet heard back.
You're so close, but you're so far. You know what I mean? It's like when you're growing up and your parent holds a basketball to you and say, come and get it. And then they put it up 4 feet in the air and you're 2 feet tall and you can't reach it. Right? It's like, it's just a tease, but at least we have an opportunity now. At least we have a chance. Before, we never had a chance.
In the meantime, Murphy has resorted to an online crowdfunding page in the hopes that it can help bridge the financial gap. Despite the barrier, Murphy says this drug is like a lottery ticket. It means the possibility of a long-term future for him and his family. The news has sparked celebrations across the CF community.
Everyone is extremely excited, right? It's kind of like a giant big birthday party, but it's everyone's birthday all at the same time, right?
For the first time in months, the health unit announced there are no outbreaks in Windsor, Essex. Another positive sign as numbers continue to trend down. 5 new cases of COVID-19 reported today, with 54 active cases. 14 of those are variants of concern. The medical officer of health hopes that this halt in outbreaks is here to stay.
We need to engage and involve our environmental health team on top of our case and contact management team to support the outbreak process. So far, our staff have been amazing in managing many of these outbreaks. So I'm really hoping that with no outbreaks in the region, they will give them some time to relax and hope that we don't see any more of these COVID-19 outbreaks with all this high vaccination coverage rate and with the decreasing transmission in the community.
Since restrictions opened up almost 2 weeks ago, many are enjoying the outdoors. And there's a newly constructed spot many have been riding to. Jumps, turns, and fast speeds are what you can expect at the region's first asphalt bicycle pump track. It's got kids and adults outside sweating and pedaling along the Little River corridor.
Good. I just started skating like 3 months ago, so it's pretty beginner friendly. Other than that, it's nice to see something outdoors out here because we've all been stuck inside for the past couple years. So I mean, when you can leave the house and have something pretty cool, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's a little challenging. Sometimes only because there's a ton of people and they're all trying to go at once.
Great to be outside, good weather. We've been locked indoors for a while, so it's nice to get her going outside.
This is awesome. The kids have a great time. They socialize with one another. They pump each other up. They give tips to one another. The older ones are...
kids are always helping. It is nice. It's nice. He's meeting new people. He's not cooped up in the house. I mean, any time outside is better than any time inside, so...
Yeah, we're thrilled with it.
Don't stop with this stuff. Windsor gets a pretty bad name when it comes to outdoor stuff, but if they keep doing stuff like this, there'll be nothing to complain about.
Graduation is in full swing at schools across Windsor, Essex. But because of COVID-19, many students are finding that the experience of getting that traditional graduation photo isn't as easy as it normally would be. As the CBC's Sanjay Maru reports, that has some parents and students taking grad pics into their own hands.
This handsome little devil on your screen, that's me, on my way out of high school. This photo has got it all. The backdrop, spotlighting, the customary gown, all courtesy of a professional photographer. Not the case for some students this year.
Did you ever expect you would be taking your graduation photos in your backyard?
No, I did not expect that. I always thought we would do them at our school. This is obviously a really big shock for everyone to do it in our own backyards.
1, 2, 3.
Today, Narusha Naruji got her graduation photos taken to celebrate the end of elementary school, not by a professional photographer, but in the backyard by her older sisters. One of them also graduating this year from high school.
It was nice. We got to do it with my family and took off a lot of stress for us, so it was pretty nice.
And it's not just the Naruji family.
We have different colors for the gowns.
A lot of parents and students are taking graduation photos into their own hands this year. Canadian Caps and Gowns, a supplier of graduation wear, operates out of Windsor but sells to clients across the country. Management say they've seen a significant uptick in purchases and not just to schools.
The students and parents are buying the gowns. We are not renting it anymore. They purchase the gown and do the graduation at their home, take photos and send the photos to the school.
And this week has seen an overwhelming amount of last-minute orders come in, but they're managing it well.
If any orders comes, we try to send it out within 24 hours.
That's exactly what Shayla Whiteman did, picking up a cap and gown yesterday to snap photos of her daughter Jasmine, who's graduating high school. There's also those keeping their grad photos low-key.
When I received the package, I said I don't have any pictures, so send it to my parents. So what I did was I asked my friend to just take a photo with the degree. That's it.
Despite all the ways students had to adapt this year, these photos still priceless as ever. Whether you found a professional photographer or you're just doing them at home with family by your side, here's to the class of 2021. Sanjay Maru, CBC News, Windsor.
I don't know about you, but I was grinning throughout that entire piece, and what a treat to see young Sanjay Maru before journalism took hold of him. Another live look at our city there. There is a low chance of some showers this evening, and Colette Kennedy will join us right after the break to break down the full forecast. Stay with us. A New Brunswick man is spending his downtime during the pandemic building something pretty unique. It is a pirate ship. Oh my gosh. Retired carpenter Bob Winslow and his son used a fiberglass boat as the base, but everything else you see was salvaged, from laminate flooring to old cabinets, even a bed frame. He now patrols his local lake aboard his pandemic creation, which he has called the Menacing Manor. And Colette Kennedy is with us now. Colette, that is so cool.
It is. Blow me down, I believe they say.
There you go.
I love the passenger there, his first mate, the dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Must totally get a kick out of that. Yeah, cool adventures. All right, we've had some adventures too with some, I say cooler, just a little below seasonal. Average high this time of year about 27. Right now we're at 23 degrees, 20 for Chatham-Kent. The humidity is going to be building back up again. But where does that come from? Well, it helps when you've got the flow coming in from the south, and we can see this. This is your forecast for what's going to be happening with these winds. Now, the models want to kind of keep them up at night. They do actually tend to come down a little, but we are going to see those gusty winds through tomorrow, and at times some of those gusts 40, even 50 kilometers an hour. So strong flow coming in off Lake Erie there, but also bringing up some moist air that's further south than that. As we take a look at the satellite and radar imagery, we were kind of talking about this yesterday. Showers developing through Michigan and then kind of dying out. So maybe just getting tagged a little bit this evening by a few sprinkles. But most of this activity is kind of winding down. There's a little bit more back towards the west, and that too is likely to wind down before it can make it through. So then we just go into partly cloudy to mostly clear skies through the overnight hours as I play this forward. So pretty good conditions through the overnight and tomorrow morning as well. We'll start to see some higher thin clouds, some cirrus cloud begin to build in, and you'll get that into the afternoon hours, and then we'll see some mid-level coming too. So it becomes a little bit cloudier as the day wears on, but you'll notice dry because the rain is tracking a little further towards the north. Now that is not going to be the case right through the next several days, and including for the weekend. So even Friday, we start to get into some scattered showers. I put those into the forecast, about a 60% chance Friday, and then likely to get into some steadier showers on Saturday. Temperatures tonight, though, they're going to be pretty mild, and that's just because we'll see the dew points allowing us as they come up to hold on to a little bit of that heat. But we didn't have it today. We're going to get it tomorrow. Yeah, you're going to see those numbers spiking. So up to 30 degrees, feeling closer to the mid-30s with that humidex. And there come the chance of showers. I've even got it into Sunday and Monday. But again, kind of Saturday, probably the day where we'll see the more widespread showers.
Thank you, Colette, for always being the captain of our forecast ship, helping us navigate the waters. Really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Thanks, Colette. Now, when we come back, we'll tell you about an 11-year-old who loves writing so much that she has published a book, and it's inspiring those around her. Stay with us. Conservative Party leader Aaron O'Toole addressed caucus as the House of Commons prepared to rise for the summer. He expressed concerns about some communities deciding to cancel Canada Day celebrations in the wake of recent events, including the discovery of remains at a residential school in BC. O'Toole said the road to equality, inclusion, and reconciliation does not involve tearing Canada down.
I'm concerned that injustices in our past or in our present are too often seized upon by a small group of activist voices who use it to attack the very idea of Canada itself. We are seeing news this week of Canada Day celebrations being cancelled. Canada Day, our day of celebration. I can't stay silent when people want to cancel Canada Day.
Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller responded to O'Toole's remarks, saying Canada Day can be wounding for some Indigenous people.
There are many Canadians that want to celebrate what I believe to be one of the best countries in the world. But for many, that isn't the shared reality. And I think that's the diversity of our country. It is, I think, on reflection, it is in part what makes our country ability to able to look at itself and say, we're not perfect. Indeed, there have been atrocities committed.
An 11-year-old's love of writing has not only turned into a book, it's become an inspiration for classmates to get their creative work out there too. The Regina girl is sharing her first novel and looking forward to more. Adeolua Atayero has the story.
In the early morning, the sun shone bright. I got out of bed, brushed my teeth, and got dressed quickly while my parents were still sleeping. I wanted to go out and check that door at the carnival.
That is the voice of Chidera Igwe, reading an excerpt from her novel, The Carnival Boy. Igwe is a grade 5 student at St. Kiteri Tekakwita Catholic School in Harbour Landing. She started writing in the 3rd grade, and while she has written more than a dozen stories, The Carnival Boy is her best work.
I published this one because when I got other people to read it, like my friends or like my teachers, they really just had like that enjoyment type. Like I would make manuscripts and they would read it and they liked it, yes, but this one was like as if they were reading an actual book.
The Carnival Boy follows the adventure of Melissa, a big lover of carnivals who loses her way during a family vacation. Her encounter with a young boy changes her life as she tries to find a way out of the carnival. Since self-publishing her book, with the help of her father, Igwe has received much praise for her debut novel. This has inspired her to write even more.
I'm gonna keep writing books so that like more people can read them and enjoy them and even make a part 2 of this book, since so many people have been asking.
The father of the young author, Chidi Igwe, says he is proud of his daughter's accomplishment and the effect that it's having on her classmates.
After she took it to her school and shared with her friends, some of her friends began to ask, oh, I have my story, how can I? Well, so I didn't even realize that it would go beyond motivating her, that it could actually be a source of motivation for some of her classmates.
I hopped on and started to pedal. Whoa, I shrieked.
Igwe plans to be in the school band in grade 6, and in addition to her schoolwork, she is learning the necessary skills to be successful in the television and movie industry through a program offered by California-based talent company. Adeolua Atayero, CBC News, Regina.
You know, passion like that always inspires others. That is it for CBC Windsor News. Don't forget, for news anytime, you can go to our website, cbc.ca/Windsor. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Rick Mercer Report is up next. Have yourselves a wonderful night.